When I was 9 years old, uh, the Democratic National Convention was chaired by a bald-headed, longtime congressman from Texas named Sam Rayburn. And people talked and talked about what a tremendous amount of control he had over the House. And I heard him speak, but I was just highly aware that he was really able to get things done. Well, that was in 1948. In 1956, I was a guest in the Capitol on my way to Sweden as an American Field Service exchange student, and Edith Green was very happy to show some of us around and take us into Sam Rayburn's office. She'd hoped to have us meet the great man, but all I got to see was his ashtray with a buttered out cigarette in it. But that's okay. That was in 1956. By 1981 or so, I went and visited the Capitol again, and Jim Weaver, a progressive congressman from Eugene, took my wife Judy and me around and showed us the House floor and explained to us that at the time of vote, everybody rushed in and sat on benches, didn't have their own desk, as I had so enjoyed in the state senate, and they had to do what he called the oiled bulls from Texas wanted, or you couldn't get anything passed. Well, that shook me up a good deal, and over the years following that, my burning ambition to go to Congress started to fade out. Well, I tried the 1 week try I made was in I think 94, when Bob Packwood got outed as the kissing senator and was more or less driven to not run anymore. We thought he was going to drop out, and in that case there had been a special election. Ron Wyden would have run for the Senate seat, and I could have then run for Ron Wyden's House seat after waiting 18 years for him to clear out. Well, I started raising money, and a bunch of my trial lawyer buddies came, and we had a little fundraiser, and people were excited, and I was having fun. But then Ron Wyden called, and he wanted to meet with me and Judy, and he was very courteous and courtly, and all kinds of flowery compliments, but he wanted to tell me I should not run for Congress. Just wasn't a good idea. He didn't give any really very powerful reasons, but he just was very insistent. And then he said, well, why don't you put your name in for be a federal judge? I think you'd make a wonderful federal judge, and I'd love to help get you shepherded through that process. Well, Judy and I snickered at that after the lunch. We knew that with my political record, that people would, in the controlling people would not want me as a federal judge. Later, my friend Dan O'Leary and my friend Jeff Foote tried, with great encouragement from Ron Wyden. Both of them sat by and saw Republican-endorsed candidates get appointed, and it then became clear that if you are of the party of the president and you're a senator, you have a lot of say on who judicial appointments are, but not in this case where we had a Republican president and we had a senator named Gordon Smith, Republican, and he's the one that made the calls, and Ron Wyden knew that. It made Jeff Foote furiously angry. He eventually encouraged Jim Huffman, the former dean of the Lewis and Clark Law School, to run against Ron in a futile attempt to take revenge on him for misleading them. They didn't come close. But there my ambitions faded a little more. And by the time Ron Wyden was running for the U.S. Senate and was leaving his House seat, Judy was on her deathbed. And as I watched that from the sidelines in grief, I wasn't terribly disappointed, because I realized that by then I was 57 years old, and my real opportunity had somewhere passed a few years earlier. I just didn't have the blind passion for seeking that job anymore. I also realized, watching the campaign, watching Earl Blumenauer's campaign roll out, that he had garnered tremendous support from the money, the utilities and the banks and so forth, and had raised a lot of money and just saturated the TV with ads. And I realized he would have buried me. So it saved me from a great disappointment and embarrassment that I didn't get to run. There's one more piece of this that I want to put in the next video, but that's why I didn't get to be a congressman.